I suspect that you remember at the beginning of this pilgrimage up through the Zuni Canyon that it was mentioned that, like many tried and true and usually old stories and legends and myths, one of the charms and deep learning techniques is that the child of 7 is introduced to some new concepts, while actually exactly the same thing is true for the 77-year-old and all in between. And that is true of our journey, high in the ancient mountains and deep in the forest. The children often enjoy looking for the rock figures and counting the cattle guards, and much of that is as it should be, and what one might expect. But by now, the older folk, and even the younger folk, realize that the 7 cattle guards are merely symbols and teaching devices, which actually refer to a constantly expanding level of understanding and conscious awareness of energies and flows and vibrations and colors. When we curve to the left around Big Ben Hill, we are 2 or 3 miles from the physical cattle guard, but we have already entered what it stands for. We have entered the Valley of the Windhorse. The more that one reaches in and reaches up and reaches out, the more one tends to realize that so many coincidences might well actually be more than simply coincidences. That seems true of the Valley of the Windhorse. Now, most Americans have some understanding of the incredible history and love that Western Native Americans had, and still have, for the horse. One certainly sees that out here in the American southwestern heartland. One local Navajo neighbor, elder, and friend, not far from here, has next to no money, yet faithfully he keeps and nourishes his horse. Mind you, he never rides the horse and doesn't even think about that. He loves that horse like a brother and a friend. And slowly and over time, one understands that there is something about the horse that he loves even more than what has been suggested. He loves and respects and is inspired by the spirit of the horse. That is to say, the vibration or the energy or the character that seems to reside deep inside the horse, yet that radiates out to those who are receptive to it. This Valley of the Windhorse has that feeling. Not long ago, a local rancher actually placed 2 life-size metal sculptures of wild stallions almost at the very beginning of this valley. It was a lovely thing to see until some thoughtless gang late on a Saturday night hopped the fence and pushed them over, breaking a leg or 2. I mean the leg on one of the sculptures. But a few minutes ago, I mentioned coincidences. We often hear the phrase, ride like the wind. On the one hand, we picture the Navajo riding across Monument Valley. But here, we are approaching the 7th gate where, among other things, we will see dozens of Tibetan prayer flags, and most of them have a horse painted on them, along with a prayer. Because the horse and the wind can carry the prayer. And even more, we discover, for 1,000 years and more, Tibetan Buddhists have spoken and taught about energies within our body and mind and emotions and environment, as well as the same from Mother Earth. And all of this are much like wind horses, galloping with great strength and power and beauty within each of those bodies, both our bodies and the bodies of our Mother Earth. Most people won't see an actual physical horse in the valley, although there are some, but many people have said that somehow they sense the wind horses carrying the flags and the banners and the prayers down to the Mother Road of America and beyond.